If you've ever tried to make this effect, where you've got something being tracked onto a scene using a planar tracker and blurred behind it, I've got the video for you. Welcome back to Creator Reality. I'm John, and in today's video, we're gonna learn a lot in the Fusion tab. So let's jump into Davinci Resolve and I'll show you what we're working with. Here we have the clips I used in the intro, and if you notice, this is blurred back here. It blurred everything out. Well, that's not as easy as it seems. There's no way to blur out like just a background node in Fusion and then slot that in. You have to blur the original footage somehow. Well, that's what we're going to do. So I've already made a duplicate over here and we're going to recreate it. Now, if you notice, I've got a marker on my clip right here. I have a whole video on how to use markers right up here. Check that out and then come back if you want to learn more about markers. Pretty cool stuff, but this is the same exact frame where we started. So I'm going to hold Alt and click on my video portion of the clip and then drag up to make a duplicate. And I'm going to do the same thing for the second clip. And for the first clip, I can Control B to break it, backspace to get rid of the excess, and we're good to go, except I'm going to double click on the marker and remove it. Yeah, it's hard to talk tonight. Now we have our base clips, but we need the animation in here too. So I'm going to forget to do the animation. We're going to do it all in the Fusion page. There's some neat nodes in there. First, I'm going to right click on the first clip and say New Fusion Clip. And I'm going to do the same thing to the second clip. That sets them up as Fusion clips, makes it easier to work with, in my opinion. And then I'm going to click on my clip and click the Fusion page. And we're going to come in here. We have Media In 1 and Media Out 1, and that's it. Well, we need some other nodes. The first thing we need to do is use the Planar Tracker. So I'm going to click on Media In 1, press Shift Spacebar, type in Planar. We got a Planar Tracker, press Enter to add it in. It's in line, right? And then everything in here is going to be on that Planar Tracker, right? Well, we don't want to start here. We want to click somewhere in the middle where this plane is plainly visible. See what I did there? And I'm going to track everything on this box pretty much. We're going to go around the hand and just click around like so. And notice I closed it. Okay, we're good. We'll come over here and hit set. That sets our reference time. Change the tracker to hybrid point area, and we'll track backwards. Davinci Resolve did that. We'll click go. We'll track forwards. And then we're going to scrub through the footage and make sure that it looks pretty solid. It looks really good. Okay. We've got a little wobble there, I think. No? All right. That all looks pretty good. Davinci Resolve's UI may lag a couple of frames. It's just doing the best it can. Now we can change this from track to corner pin and set up our corner pin to be just on the portion of the box that we want to cover. That looks pretty good. And then we want to drag in our subscribe animation. So I've got it right here, subscribe to. We'll put it way over here. And we're going to drag it into the Planar Tracker. And you see it's right there, but it's black. It's got the black background. We don't want the black background. We want the blurred background. So with Media In 2 selected, we want to press Shift Spacebar, and we want to type in 3D Keyer or 3DK. Select 3D Keyer, click Add. And we can now come in and click on our eyedropper and click somewhere, but you see funny things happen. So I'm going to reset that. I'm going to come back and select Media In 2, press my 1 key to bring it in the left viewer. If you don't see 2 viewers, we can click right over here and get our 2 viewers. And if you don't see enough there, we can move this over a little bit. There we go. Now that icon's visible. But then we go select Dekeyer 1 again, and we can click on our eyedropper, click in the black space, and now it's keyed this out so that it's clear behind it. That's what we wanted, right? Well, here's one problem. If I scrub through the footage, you'll see that our subscribe animation comes in, but the like and the share button doesn't show up. We need something to fix that. So I'm going to move Dekeyer 1 over, click on Media In 2, Shift Spacebar, type in time. We want a time speed node. Click Add. Now it's in line there. And what we can do is we can come all the way over to here to right about where this disappears, right at the end of our clip, and we can drag our speed up and you'll see that things happen. You might have to hold in here instead, and we want to get this to where it's just about to end. So maybe we want to end right about there. That's good. So now as we scrub through, the like and the share comes on. Isn't that neat? That's pretty cool, right? And if you really want to see the second issue, what I can do is go back here to our Planar Tracker, and if I come here, you'll notice it stopped tracking right about there. So we can come over to settings, create a keyframe on our blend, and then go back 2 frames right about there and turn it to 0. And this will come in handy when we get to the blur portion. Speaking of which, we're going to come back to controls and we can change this back to track. Don't worry, it's not going to lose anything. And we're going to create a planar transform. Click that button. We'll put that off to the side. We'll need that in a minute. But let's turn this back to corner pin again. And that's good to go. And it tracks all the way through. Okay, cool. Yep, it's going to look good once we hit frame 4, right? And now to start creating the blur, we need a background node. So I'm going to click on background node. It puts one here. I'm going to move it over. And then I'm going to shift spacebar with it selected and type in corner positioner or CPN. Click add. Okay, that's good. And we're going to need our planar transform 1. So I'm going to bring that in, keep things clean. I'm going to move a couple of things around. And I'm going to connect the output of our corner positioner to our planar transform 1. Then, with media in 1 selected, shift spacebar, we're going to do a blur. So I have access to the studio version. I'm going to use the lens blur. You can try any of them. It's right there. We'll connect the planar transform 1 output to the mask of lens blur 1. And now you see that this is blurry and this is not. So now we need our corner positioner. We can press the 1 key here and it's going to show up right there in our second viewer, right? Well, we're going to go back to frame 43 and we're going to line this up the way it needs to be. Now it's set up. It's not quite blurry enough. I'm going to click on lens blur 1. I'm going to drag this up to 10. There it is. It's done, right? Now we have a blur behind there. So what's happening is the background 1 is being fed into the corner positioner 1, which positions it here. And then that gets fed through the planar transform and that allows it to move with the box. And again, it's kind of weird, right? So we're going to have to start on frame 4 again. And with our playhead at frame 4, we click on background 1 and we come over here to our alpha, create a keyframe, and then we can go back 2 frames to frame 2. And that, actually, it tracked it pretty well there, right? That looks pretty good. We can go all the way to 1 and drag it to 0. That one looks pretty good. The planar transform 1 looks like it did a better job than the planar transform, but this is going to get blurry over 4 frames. And then voila, look at that. So we're almost done now, right? But we need to add a magic mask in to rotoscope out my hand so it's in front of that blur, right? That's the secret sauce. So let's do that now. Clicking in blank space, shift space bar, magic mask, enter. Connect the output of media in 1 to magic mask 1, press 1. And now magic mask 1 is in the left viewer. I'm going to control mouse wheel, zoom in, see what I'm doing. And I'm going to select better. And then I'm going to tap on my thumb there and it masked out my thumb. I'm going to tap on the minus here, click on the minus for stroke mode, and I'm going to put a few drops around it. There's a label there. Hopefully it won't pick that up. Then we're going to track back and forth. Now that it's done, I can fit this again, and as soon as my hand comes up, it should, yep, it's tracking it, and then we can go through each of the frames. We see one there. I'm going to control mouse wheel to zoom in, and then I'm going to click the minus icon here a couple of times till that disappears. And now we can go to the next time it shows up. I'm going to ignore any big ones for now. This is just a demo. Right there, it disappeared. So now we need to track back and forth again. And now that it's done, we can track through our footage one more time, see if there's anything else that it missed. And it seemed to get just a little bit there. And there might be one more pop up towards the end. I think it's right about here. Yeah, we'll fix this one for now. There it is. And then we'll just track forward and that's done. I'd make it perfect, but this is just a demo. You get the idea. Now we have to add this magic mask back in on top of everything else. So I'm going to move media out 1 over, drag from the output of magic mask 1 to the output of planar tracker 1, move that over to be clean. And now you see that my thumb is above or in front of the blur. How cool is that? Coming back to the edit page, we'll let Davinci Resolve render this out, and then we can play this clip. And look at that. How slick does that look? Now we have a second clip. It works the same way, but instead of having the animation in there, we just have the emoji. And through the magic of video editing, I have now duplicated the original clip so as to not redo all the work. Let's go take a look at the insides of it. With it selected, clicking Fusion icon, boom, we're in the Fusion page. You'll see that I've got Media Into selected and in my left viewer, so it's right up here. And then that goes into a transform. And this has a size set to 0.85 so that it has room for the next node, which is the drop shadow node, just to give it kind of a 3D pop effect. And then that goes into the planar tracker and we're good to go. Again, a lens blur that uses the planar transform from this planar tracker, the corner positioner going into that, and a background node going into that. On top of all of it is Magic Mask so that my thumb is on top. You can see it selected right there, and that's where the dots were for that one. And then when we come back to the edit page, boom, it's right there. We can play through it. And there we go. I used the same keyframes to keyframe out the blur and the thinking emoji at the end where the planar tracker simply lost track. So now the final clip, boom, look at that. We've got the subscribe animation sped up and blurred behind it and then a thinking emoji and we're done. How neat is that? That's pretty cool, right? That's got to be worth, I don't know, booping the like button maybe? Maybe consider subscribing? Maybe consider asking your own questions about Davinci Resolve in the comment section below. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today. I do hope you learned a lot. I will see you over here in this video. Go click on this one next, and I'll see you there. John out.